welcome back to Creating Dream Catchers. Just before we went to break, I just wanted to give a little bit of recap. We first gave a little history about where the dream catcher came and how it has evolved over the years. So for the next segment, we are going to be getting into building the dream catcher. Peyton?
Yeah, so I think over the break here, we kind of got going a little bit of just about tying the points here because, just to kind of speed up time a little bit.
And maybe Edna can show us how to make a tie.
Okay, we're going to do it the traditional way with the 7 teachings. So we have put 7 hoops on there, and then we're just going to go into those and then just tie it and just keep going like that. Just go to the next one.
So as we get started here,
and when the mothers or the grandmothers were making these, you know, the baby or the little ones were sitting there, and then she was telling stories. This happens in a lot of our homes. This is how our traditions were passed down. They were done by storytelling because, you know, we didn't have them. We didn't have books or anything like that. They were just stories that were passed down from generation to generation.
That's pretty awesome that most of our stories and traditions have been orally kept throughout the years, and there's actually an interesting part about that. And I forgot what was one of those reasons, but it may be something that you can tell me about why they kept it orally instead of preserving it like in the museums and stuff like that?
Well, 1929 was the first written documentation about the dream catcher. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's because we didn't have pens and papers, and this was a way for the family to keep together is by, you know, telling our stories. We didn't have TVs back then either, so, you know, we passed down our teachings by actually doing something like making a dream catcher and then telling maybe the stories about the 7 teachings, and, you know, so that the children will, you know, always remember them.
And what would you say now, what would you say some of the misconceptions just about dream catchers? Like, how do you think the dream catchers have really changed over the years?
Oh, well, they have changed because they used to be made with 7 points, or the Navajo made them with 8 points.
And now today,
they're made with
16 points.
Yeah, lots of points, and there's actually all different ways of making the dream catcher. Like, we have one here that's made with all beads. We have one here that has an eagle in the middle of it, and you could see all this intricate weaving there too.
You could just notice here the different. The weaving is completely different. I don't know if you guys could see that, but can you get a close-up shot on here and see how it's constructed compared to this one?
Well, it's the artist too, eh? Like, we all take we all have our own way of doing things, our own, like a painter, like an artist does a painting. Like someone makes moccasins, and these are the dream catchers.
So it's kind of interesting that you say that, because would you say that, like, obviously not every dream catcher is made the same? So just how some of the differences over the years and how people have kind of adapted, and, you know, there's different ways. Like, this one doesn't have the 7 points, as you can see. So it's just really how, like, culture has kind of taken a different route.
Yes. And then maybe a lot of times it's not even culture, it's
just evolving mostly from
there's a lack of knowledge, I would say, because, like, I personally, the only thing I knew about dream catchers was really that they were put up on your wall so they would catch your bad dreams. You know, growing up, that's what I thought, that's what the dream catchers
Well, see, that's what the misconception is, and we'll get into that just in a few minutes. But if you buy a dream catcher in a store now, it has a little tag on it, and it says that you hang the dream catcher by your bed or by the window, and usually they have a bead in the center, like this one here. You hang it up by your window, and when you dream at night, whether they're good dreams or bad dreams, they'll get caught into the web, And if they're bad dreams, they'll filter down to the feathers, and when the sun comes up, then the bad dreams will be burnt away. That's the worldwide story of dream catchers.
So I'm at this point right now. I'm kind of stuck here. Maybe you
Okay.
could demonstrate to the audience how.
Okay, then well, you would just tie that, and then you would go on to your next. You tie that. And then you would go on to your next, then you would start your hoops all over again.
So I think as we get going here, when we come back, we're going to talk a bit more about the true misconceptions about dream catchers and kind of what the true story behind the dream catchers is. So that's coming up right next here on Dream Catchers, the True Meaning.